today's daily lead code problem number of nodes in a subtree with the same label. So yeah, as the question name suggests, you have been given a tree. It's an undirected tree and minus one edges, 0 to n vertices. Root of the tree is node 0. Each node has a label, and the label is a lowercase English character. Edges is given in form of so to create a graph, and you have to return an array of size n. N is basically the number of nodes, right? What this array represents the number of nodes in a subtree of the ith node. So for example, zeroth node, in the subtree of zeroth node, what is the number of node having the label a? As you can see, just this one node is having label a, and this is also included in its subtree, so that's your answer is 2. Similarly, answer for this is 1. For answer for this is 0. Not 0, but b has itself in a subtree, so at least answer would be 1 for everyone. Only the 0 would have answer 2, and that's about it. That's you have to return. If you see this test case, for example, for node 0 having a label b, how many nodes in its subtree are having a label b? So 1 to 3 are the nodes, and this fourth node itself, so basically 4 is the answer for this. Similarly, 1 and 2, the answer for 1 is equal to 2, and so on. Like for every other, the answer is just 1. So this is all about the how what you have to do. Now how you have to do this, so this is also, yesterday we do a post order kind of question. This is also a post order kind of question where you have to calculate for children first, and then use the result of children for the parents. So how you calculate the result for the children, you will first go in the DFS and ask for the label of 4. Let's say, first of all, the loop first of all, your code should run for this 4, because this is the, if you go post order wise, so this is the first thing which you should encounter. So for this 4, you will say, what is the children of this? So there are no children, so you will say, okay, what is label of 4? 4 is d, right? So you'll just increment the something like a vector of this 4 is equal to 1, because yeah, it has one node which is having label d, and it will return to its parent that, okay, I have one node down there which has a label d. So yeah, he'll say, okay, d has frequency of 1 something like that, and c has frequency of 1 something like that. C will also say ki, my frequency is 1, and then b will see, my label is B. Do you have any nodes having a label B in the subtree? They'll say no. So that's why the answer for this B is also 1. So now you have basically, so we are creating a kind of a vector, or you can say a map. Vectorized, why I saying vector? Because 26 characters are only there. So we can do it in just a vector way. Let's do this. So first of all, basically it's a DFS question. And DFS over here, the return type would be vector. Children would be returning a kind of a vector of, you know, this vector is just nothing but a character vector, like just the frequency map of a to z. It's that frequency map of a to z which will tell the frequency of a particular character in its subtree. So that we'll see, that is very useful for calculating whether the label is same or not, and how many times this label has occurred or not. So int sv visited of s equal to 1. These are just normal DFS thing, but this is the main part. Auto I in graph of SV for all the neighbors of SV, you'll say, not all the neighbor, but only the children's, right? So if it's not visited our children, you'll say, you'll calculate the answer for that children and store it into a vector of, let's say, z is equal to DFS of I. You will do that DFS on that. The children, for example, 4 will return a vector something like this. It will have all 0, but there is just one at the place of A, B, C, D. At the third index, there would be 1, and there would be all just 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, something like that. Yeah, so this one would be useful to tell the parent that I have a D, right? So how you'll tell a parent? Parent also has this vector which it will return to its parent. So vector of character, 26 size, 0. That's all about it. And now you will say key for int I is equal to 0, so 26. uh, Parent will ask for, no, parent will get something from this vector z. Parent will get what is the frequency of particular character. How it can get, it can just character of I plus equal to z of I. Just increment your frequency of that character in the character map of the parent by using the character map of the children, which is z. So for example, this is a character map of a children, like it's just having all zeros and there is one. Currently the character map of just parent is just all zeros, so it will go and place one or this index, or just increment its this index by 1, and still all other are 0. When it will run a for loop for this c, when it will run iteration for C, when it will yeah, this DFS calling will be on C. C will return a vector something like, this would be 1 and this would be 0. So now the parent vector will do +1 over this side because of the C also has. So this is to keep track how many characters you have down there. So B is keeping track that you have C and D. Also B will, before returning to A, B will keep track that okay, I have B also. So it will look like something like this. Finally, the character array of B is just this. Okay, it doesn't have anything else. So then it goes to A will append itself to this, and yeah, that's about how it's processing. And let's focus on that whole. Before doing incrementation for A, I have to go for its children also. So this children will also do something like increment. First of all, E will run when the then A and A, like in the post order kind of way. So after this, yeah, that's all, pretty much all. So you will say key character of not character, yeah, character of I plus equal to something like, map of, not map of, but whatever is present at that index, right? Hmm. You'll return your character vector, something like that will happen. But before returning, you have to make updation that this current node, this label has to be incremented. How you will increment that? uh what is this? This is okay, I'm storing this into a string, right? String, let's say, what do I say it? Label string, right? Label string is fine, yeah. String l of sv minus of a. You know what it will give me? This will give me the, yeah, indexing of particular character. I'll do plus equal to 1, right? Just because this character is there, and before the after that you will just return your character array. That's all about this problem, and you'll get all the character array. And after this, before returning this character array, you have to make sure that your a vector which you are forming, the vector you are returning, right? Vector of int v, the vector which is your answer is return v. You will say v of this node, current node sv is equal to character of this l comma sv minus a. You know, the current label is a. How many nodes are having a label a? So sv is just equal to a minus a equal to 0. So l of 0, right? Ch of 0, something like that you can say. Is it fine? I think it should be fine. And return your character array. I think this is all good. Just create your graph and then let's see. G of I of 0 dot push back I of 1. G of I of 1 dot push back G of I of 0. Okay, I have to create a graph also. Treating that as a global. P and visited are over here, and vector of graph is there. Yeah, that should be fine. Size of n comma 0. What is my vector v? It should be resized to something like n comma 0. Anything else? I don't think so. L is equal to label which we are using, and dfs calling on 0 we are doing, and we'll returning the v. E is not defined. Label is defined, right? Label, or you do it there, labels. Okay, visited me there was a problem. Okay, I did not created visited. No number dot resize resi that I visited is there. Looks good. Let's run all the thing. So time complexity would be something like, yeah, you're just going for every node once, but space complexity is something which is more over here. You are creating a vector of integers to store the character frequency under this complete subtree, and incrementing that character frequency at the last due to that current node, and then returning that character frequency for its parent to see. So it will get and see from its children how many characters are down there, increment those, and this is basically creating that vector v is equal to what is the frequency of this current character in the, yeah, subtree. Okay guys, that's about it. Let's move to gfg problem of the day if you have time, right? Because it's a pretty simple problem. Minimize the sum, easy as you can see, and you have been given n elements. Okay, in an array you have to remove two elements from the list. Note that their sum and add the sum, note their sum. Okay, so take out the two elements, note their sum, and add the sum to the list. Repeat the steps while there is more than single element. Task is to minimize the sum of the chosen elements. In this, you have to do just brute force, obviously, and then what they are saying basically, there is nothing like you know hidden logic in this. What they're saying, you just have to implement this. How you will calculate, but just the thing which you need to realize, the task is to minimize the sum. How you can minimize the sum? The sum will be minimized only if you take smaller number first. So I have array 147 comma 10. There are two ways to multiple ways to create the required thing to convert this into single thing. It will get converted into 22 in all the ways, but the answer will be different for all the ways. What I'm saying, let's say if you take two elements which is 7 and 10 from the ending, you will sum them up, you will say 17. Okay, then you will add this into our array. So this is the operation one, or this is array will look like something like a is equal to will look like something like 1 4 and 17, because 7 and 10 you took. After this you will perform operation 2. You will say let's take 4 and 17. So when you take 4 and 17, you will get 4 comma 17 equal to 22. The sum of this is 21, I think. Yeah, so your array will look like 1 comma 21, and then your only one operation is required. The array will become something like 22, and this will give you 22. The what is the sum for this? Sum for this would be 17 plus 21 plus 22. You have to do sum of all these, the required element coming after the operation, right, which you are adding into the array. So first I'm adding 17, then I'm adding 21, and then I'm adding 22 basically to the array, something like that you can say. So this sum is very huge, right? This is not what we want to do. We will gonna start from the beginning. So the only observation to realize how to minimize the sum of the chosen sum is to take the smaller element first, right? That's why you'll able to minimize, because 1 and 4 are the minimum sum over here, right? If you have to take two unique elements, so 5 is the minimum first thing which is you are added. After that your array will look like 5 7 10. Okay, whatever, 5 7 10, you will take 5 and 7 elements, and you'll do the sum which will give you 12. After that your array will look like 12 comma 10, and you have to do some 22, and then you have to just keep it into 22, and no need for this. So because now your size is equal to 1, you just need to add 5 12 22, that's equal to 39. Okay, so now that is just pretty basic logic, that you have to take two smaller elements. How you can take two smaller elements? You can use priority queue, because not priority queue, but a min heap basically, which stores the minimum element over the others. So that's I created a priority queue or min heap, and then I took out the two elements, and then I did all the stuff like just let me do this. Yeah, first create your priority queue, pretty queue, QUE, integer, vector, greater for priority queue, max min heap, right? Name it queue, and for auto I in your vector a q dot push your I, and this will create your priority queue. And now you have to just take out the element, add into the queue, and so on, so on. So while your queue dot size is greater than 1, when it's equal to 1, we don't have to do anything, it's fine. And when it's greater than 1, then only there will be the possibility for two elements, so take out those two elements. Top 1 I'm storing as queue dot top, and then popping it up, and then you can say enter top 2 is equal to q dot top again, and then pop it up q. After that you'll do sum plus equal to yeah, t1 plus t2, which is the sum which you are forming. But what you will be pushing into the thing, it's simple, like q dot push what are the sum of the two elements that you took out, right? The two elements that you took out, the sum of this t1 plus t2, that will push out. And s is the basically, the answer in forming which we want to return. Yes, it's pretty simple like that. Let's try to sum this up. A you have to do, and N maybe you have to do. Okay, don't no need of N, but just yeah, A you have to do. I think yeah, it should be fine. Let's see. S is not declared. Why? Why so? IN was not declared. Where INT should be there. Let's try to sum this up. It was a pretty basic question. That's why marked easy and successfully submitted. And this is just priority queue min heap basic implementation, just to read out the problem and just understand. The only thing was this: how to minimize the sum. It's by using priority queue. Okay, guys.